talking about Star Wars. Hi, it's Yin Pei, and I just got off work. It's like it is 10 o'clock at night, 10:06 to be exact. And I gotta say, I'm getting kind of tired of this whole, oh, Dave Filoni's a fraud, or Star Wars, Dave Filoni was gonna save Star Wars and now it's not, and, oh, he was just a liar and all this other stuff. Well, I agree and I don't agree with y'all, because the situation is a lot more complicated than we give each other credit for, and a lot of people are just talking, just dogging people out just to want something to hate on. Like, do you know how hard it is to even get greenlit for something these days? It's inappropriate, Raya. Don't need cat butt in the face. So I'm just gonna block that out with my armor, shoulder, elbow person. Anyway, you know how hard it is to get not just greenlit, but the budget, the people, everybody trying to help make a TV show. And I know that practically nobody besides Dave Filoni has had a hand in creating Ahsoka. And I will say, like, the last Ahsoka episode that I watched was last week's, where we spoilers, we met. Calm down, cat. Dang. Hi, but calm down. And if you're gonna be in here, stop jumping on stuff. Seriously? I'm making a video, and this is what you're gonna do. You're just gonna stop that. You're gonna come in here and act this way. Just calm down, cat. Anyway, apparently she wants to be in the video. So, Dan, okay, you just lost your privileges. Down, cat. There, thank you. No, I just got home. I don't want to play right now. Us as fans have been literally spoiled with awesome fight scenes, stories of Star Wars, comic books, video games, the works. And we are literally spoiled rotten when it comes to Star Wars. We've always got the hype backing us up. We've always got the energy, the expectations. Everybody at this point is starting to sound like a hater, but I get it. Come on, hear me out. I'm trying to get to my point here. From I can't say everybody, and there's here. Let me see if I can choreograph this. Yes, there is a lot of stuff wrong with Ahsoka, but there is a lot of stuff we've gained as well. It does feel like Rebels Season 5. It does feel like Rebels a lot. And it does kind of feel like they're piggybacking off of Mandalorian Season 2 when we first met Ahsoka. Except it's not going with the basic choreography that we would see in most Star Wars movies and stuff in live action. A lot of things feel slow. A lot of things feel very mild or very tamed, where it feels like these are kids playing in the backyard, which probably would be a little bit more enjoyable just seeing people instead of just ha, 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 like some sort of small offbeat, well, lightsaber duel. We were hyped up when it came to Phantom Menace's super cool choreography with the lightsaber, and that was really, really cool. But the thing is, I can't hate on that. You know, at least we got it. I would like to see more choreography of high speed energy, and that's something Ahsoka doesn't have right now. A lot of characters feel very standstill, where you got characters doing this most of the time. Oh, really? Well, this is acting, and this is how actors do acting. Everything feels like it's right here all the time. It sometimes fluctuates, but it's not going energetic. It's just down here, monotone. But the thing is, like, the idea of it is still pretty cool. At least we got Ahsoka. At least we got these cool visuals for the moments where it's supposed to be chill and stuff. I gotta say I like that. But when things feel like they need to be hyped, they need to be hyped. I feel like if someone else was choreographing the choreography with the lightsabers, or at least we focused just a tad bit more on it and had music to back it up. If we had music to back it up, it would be a whole different setting. We don't have that in Ahsoka. The soundtrack feels very tamed, or it just feels like it's too focused on samurais, or where everything's kind of patiently waiting. You're on the edge of your seat, and you're just slowly trying to focus in because you want to know what happens, what's going on, what are they going to do. Two people attack each other. Cool. Oh, wow. That was exciting. But now everything's like that. It just loses its momentum. The latest episode of Ahsoka, episode 7, where we got a chance to see Ezra, where we got a chance to see Sabine and Ezra's like chemistry with the actor and actress, and trying to see how these two look on screen. These actors are actually pretty good to play them, but Sabine feels like how Ahsoka's been, where she's just steadfast and monotone. I would call her Ahsoka the Grey at that point. When she got into the white outfit and became Ahsoka the White, she became like looser. She became more energetic, more happy, like she wasn't trying to stop being what's the word? She wasn't trying to one up somebody, not one up. Nah. More on the lines of she wasn't stuck up. She wasn't like she was afraid to express emotions or anything like that. She wasn't afraid to get closer to anybody. When she kind of started feeling like more like Ahsoka again, yeah, at least in Rebels. And so that's how she feels. She feels like Ahsoka from Rebels now, but how she was in Mandalorian season 2 and Book of Boba Fett and up to the Ahsoka show, she has been feeling very monotone. But we understand that she's got this kind of wounded warrior Ronin thing she's doing, and now she's kind of gotten away from that, and now we get to see her a little bit more hyped. But the difference being is the fact that the choreography for her combat it's what's the word? It's not tamed, sluggish. No, basically it's mediocre to say the least. We should see these characters jumping around like they were in Mandalorian season 2. We see these characters moving stuff with their minds, force push, force slam, and knocking a bunch of stormtroopers around. Anything. It feels like there's nothing in the budget for them to have that choreography, which these moments feel like they need. We even had Ho Yang fly around and see Ahsoka fighting with that angle, and it was just kind of like mirroring from Phantom Menace, where we saw Qui-Gon versus Maul as Obi-Wan and Anakin and the people on the Naboo ship were trying to fly low to grab him. And the energy of this episode was just not there, and it needed to be. It just wasn't. And that's what a lot of people I feel like are upset about, is the fact that there is no energy in this series. And I can understand that the actors and the actresses and the people who are working on the music and stuff are putting their heart and soul into it, or maybe they're not. I would say most of of what I've seen from how the behind the scenes stuff, special features, and a little bit of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes, they look like they have been having a lot of fun with it. But the thing is, they're not they're not giving us that energy no more. Anakin, oh gosh, Anakin and Ahsoka aren't. What are you doing? What you doing? Anakin and Ahsoka aren't. Their fight should have been a little bit more hype. Not like it should be. It should be like just like how it was in not Phantom Menace, Revenge of the Sith, where everything's suspenseful, action, all this other stuff. No. This is one of those moments like it is in Empire Strikes Back with Luke when he's in the cave, and it's understandable for them to kind of have this kind of back and forth thing, but it does need to have a little bit of suspense because it is Ahsoka's life. Anakin Skywalker is telling you live or die. If she's not getting it, we never see her really look like she doesn't get it. It just looks like more like maybe she's feeling like this is the end for her, and now she's tired, and it's time for her to rest. It's her time, and she's accepting that. But what she's not accepting is not the ability to live, but to fight for something to live for. She doesn't have her drive anymore, and now she does. Ever since that battle, she wasn't fighting for herself to live until Anakin Force Ghost, or you could say it's the failure in the cave situation. But she passed the cave situation. Maybe it was Anakin, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just her mind playing tricks on her, and she finally accepted it. I say it's Anakin because I just really like Anakin as a character, and I loved everything that happened from previous episodes up to now on that notion, but a lot of it does feel very tame. Sabine's character feels very not like Sabine. She doesn't feel like she's energetic. She feels like she's forcing it to, and her makeup is still on point. I feel like at least from a certain standpoint, Sabine needed to at least excuse me. She needed to at least be more hyperactive, be more annoyed, be more frustrated. It felt like she was talking to her mom and was talking to her butler. Let's say that. Like she was talking to her mom and her butler, which was Huyang, and the butler said that she's not gonna be the best ballerina in her class or something like that. He's like, apparently I am the worst dancer with 2 left feet, and the mom's like, so that's what you said to my daughter? It's true? And she's like, and that's it. It just feels like she's having a pity party. And, Ezra, this is the map to Ezra. There's no Ezra? Or just Ezra? There's no emotion. It's just or I can help. But I can help. Where's that? Where's the emotion? It doesn't need to be angry and mad and no. It just there needs to be some feeling. Everybody feels so static, and this is the part of the argument that I can understand, because all the characters do not feel like they're in here. It just, no one feels energized. No one feels like they're actually characters right now. I can understand why Ahsoka feels stiff. The actress, I forget what her name is, but the thing that she's wearing on her head kind of stops the whole movement thing in its tracks. So there are going to be things that she can't do on screen to where we're going to be like, oh, that's cool, that's acceptable. And there will be some things that she can do, but we just never see her do it. Rosario Dawson, that's her. Rosario. And I love her as an actress. I love her character as Ahsoka. But it just feels like they're not letting you live your character to their potential. It feels like it almost feels like a Reva situation. With Reva, they were showing her off a little too much, and making it being about like Obi-Wan's story, but it's also Reva's story, and it just kind of felt like she was just doing all this stuff and it didn't really amount to anything. If they put most of those things into the Grand Inquisitor and let Reva still feel like she's like the trainee with an interesting set of skills that she hasn't told anybody, like that whole mind trick thing that she's like, you know that there is a Jedi somewhere, and she was using the mind trick to see what the other guy's past was, and she was like, it was Obi-Wan, and just goes off and does her own thing. I'd rather her be hyped up like that. Like, that's something the other Inquisitors don't have, and it would have been cool for her to utilize that to be kind of like a pseudo secret agent to a pseudo secret agent to kind of like she's still playing the fool, and that would have been really cool. Anyway, back to my point on that matter is, it is lackluster. I say right now, for the whole series so far, until we get to the last episode tomorrow, it is literally a 7 out of 10. It would have been a 9 out of 10 if we had better choreography and better music. It's not the fact that the choreography is bad. It's just the fact that there's no energy to it. It just feels like people are just hitting each other with sticks. That's how it feels. There's no like cool, the rule of cool. In a lot of TV shows and movies nowadays don't even understand what the rule of cool is anymore. That was the prequel trilogy from Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. Those were the rules of cool. It's so what that someone's flipping their lightsaber around like this and just doing it. It looks cool. Those are the parts that you remember. That's why that people play those over and over again, those clips on YouTube, making AMVs and stuff like that, trying to hype up the audience. And a lot of the times during the prequel trilogy, when there were big battles or those battles that needed those moments for them to put on this song, put on this OST, put on this OST, or this just plain music in general, those moments, the music drowned out the battle, and all you could hear was the lightsabers hitting metal or hitting each other, or sparks, or even the background noises were just being earshot. It felt like you were there. But with Ahsoka, everything feels like you need to focus on what these two are doing and not what the area that around them is doing. Anakin and Ahsoka on the bridge felt like in the beginning when he was when they first started fighting, before he knocked the bridge apart and then she went into her little dream space. I don't mind that actually being as static as when she gets kicked back around. That's when I feel like she needed to kind of go back and start, just start actually fighting them. Even if she got one of her lightsabers knocked down, she was going back to using the other Ahsoka style, where she's just using the kind of backwards lightsaber thing. Then she goes back and just starts using this. Then maybe she uses the Force to grab that so she can block. But instead of using this block all the time, maybe it's time to go like this and go in for an attack. I know she's supposed to be a peacekeeper, but it would be amazing if we saw her do a scene when he had the red lightsaber and she remembers how she felt on that day. It would have been cool if we even heard the background of that part in Rebels. Ahsoka and her saying, "I won't leave you, not this time. My master could never be like that." That's why he keeps fluctuating back and forth from Vader back to Anakin, because it's her mind messing with her situation. And I would have loved it if Hayden Christensen did have more to say than just fight or die. So I keep bringing it back up to this scene, even though I was talking about episode 7. This scene in particular is what's truly made the show made the rest of the show, because we had a lot of cool lore and a lot of cool hype, but what I feel like it was doing was just tying in everything of Star Wars up to this point together. That's all that this was doing, and it did it so original trilogy's way, where a lot of characters were very static with their combat. When in A New Hope, it was two old men fighting each other and attacking each other with their lightsabers as if they didn't know what they were doing anymore. It just felt like a bunch of old dudes hitting each other with sticks. And then Revenge of the Sith, where this is pretty much, not Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back, where you see Luke versus Vader, and it feels like they're just trying to hit each other's lightsaber. That's it. All they're doing is trying to hit the lightsaber. They're not trying to connect and do these interesting, cool, choreographed combos and tricks and stuff to actually put on a show for us. It doesn't feel like no stakes are high. It doesn't feel like this is Ahsoka about to live or die. It just feels like that's just something everybody's saying. It just feels like that's what somebody's saying. And it doesn't have any weight behind it. There's no weight to any of this. I would have loved it if in episode 6, when we found Ezra, I actually put that on Star Wars Theory's one of his shorts, I think. It was either one of his shorts or one of his little clips from his Star Wars Theory clips, I think. And he ended up saying that episode 7 was boring, and I was like, here would be my version of what I would love to see on that reunion. I would have loved it if they did like a montage moment where we saw Sabine actually go across with this little turtle crab guy, and they're like, they're meeting up with his clan, and the reason why it's taken so long is because, remember, the clan doesn't stay in the same place for too long. So he could have went back to his original camp, and there's nobody to be found. He's like, okay. So they left, and I know exactly where they're going, so let's keep on pushing. And let's say it's been a couple of days. Let's say it's been like 3 days, and Thrawn, we go back to Thrawn, and he's still, putting up together all the things that he needs so he can ship off and everything. So, but he's got 2 people coming after Sabine. That is the Balin and the hunters. Let's call them the hunters. And then we've got the stormtroopers who are coming in with the gold on and letting them come off. It would have been cool to see them kind of, like, hype up episode 7 a little bit more than just letting them be found in a couple of seconds. Because it felt like they already had his location, they just haven't done anything about it because they didn't realize that someone was coming to find Thrawn. Didn't put into account that someone was going to find him today, And so he was like, okay, we've got Ezra's location. All right, cool. Oh, hey, look, people. Huh. Well, I'll just put that in the old sleeve pocket right here and use that for a rainy day. Oh, we can use that right now? Good thing I have this. Here, give this to that other person, and we're going to put that into my plan. And that's what it was. It just didn't, everything felt like Ahsoka was rushed out the door. There's nobody to, like, say, hold up. There's no editor to say, like, hold up. Let me space this out a little bit more. Oh, but our runtime. Well, maybe this will be good for our runtime. How about we switch this scene out and make it longer, or make it look like it's longer and still have the same runtime? Excuse me. Allergies. Allergy season. What I'm saying about the whole Dave Filoni thing, pushing this aside for a second, the whole Dave Filoni thing is, Dave Filoni has done a lot with his team and Jon Favreau and what he's been working with for the past couple of years in Star Wars. That's awesome. But this is the first time, truly a first time of him actually failing technically. And now everybody's kind of just at his throat. Like he fails once, and now everybody wants to just put a wish on and let him burn at the stakes. Everybody's so quick to turn on this guy, and it breaks my heart because I hear a lot of different Star Wars fan YouTubers out there saying that I forget what his name is, Mike Zero. He said that Dave Filoni is not the savior of Star Wars. I think he said he was a fraud and stuff like that. I'm like, wow, oh wow, where did this come from? I've never seen this side of him like this before. It's not the fact that, oh, everything Dave Filoni is gonna do is gonna be awesome. Oh no, there's some stuff that I don't like. There's things that are not gonna be a 10 out of 10. That's why a lot of the things that I say is gonna be a 7 out of 10. A 7 out of 10 is like the as good as it gets kind of notion, because a 6 is like saying you just put this out here and it was okay and the idea was okay, but the execution was just terrible. A 5 out of 10 is you put this garbage out here and expected us to like it, and you were forcing it down our throats. A 4 to 3 to 2 out of 10 is like, this is just bad, and you're just doing this because you thought that pushing your agenda or pushing some sort of like oh, this is my version of Star Wars, so just take it and like shove it up your butt, because that's just how it needs to be, because it's my thing, and if I say this is Star Wars, it goes, and no one's gonna like that. It's like saying, changing Obi-Wan to where he's like, oh, Obi-Wan is a fascist or something like that. That stuff gets pushed out of proportion. That's what like 4, 3, 2, and almost 1. 1 is just an absolute trash thing, and you're never gonna see it. But when it comes to like a 6 it's okay. 7, cool, all right, I liked it. Could have been better, but I liked it. 8 out of 10 is like saying that was actually pretty freaking cool, but it just needed a little bit of touch-ups here and there. A 9 out of 10 is pretty much like the best thing you can put into my eyes, and a 10 out of 10 is like, there's stuff that's wrong with it, but it was the best thing we ever got. That's what I feel like a 10 out of 10 is. Being perfect is like, to me, it's like you did everything that you could have done with it, and and you put it the best way you could. It's like having a dream of the best thing ever, and you wrote down the exact dream and you made it into a movie, and it became a hit and everybody loved it. There's some things that were just kind of like hit and miss every now and then, but it was still awesome throughout the whole thing, and you're gonna rewatch it over and over and over and over again. That's like the perfect 10 out of 10 for me. I will say with this the Ahsoka series right now, it is a 7 out of 10, because I feel like it's not living up to its own hype, or not hype. It's not living up to its own goals that it set out for itself. Having this kind of quiet, stoic Star Wars isn't every story. Isn't not every story. It works for Mandalorian because he is an outlaw. Sorry. It's because he is an outlaw. He is a quiet individual who does things in a very cowboy Western way. With Mandalorians in general, yeah, they're a bunch of brutes. When you see Boba Fett, like how he was in Mandalorian season 2, if Mando's the outlaw, Boba is a barbarian. He's just this. He's doing whatever it takes. He's using everything in his arsenal to be to defeat his enemy. He feels like what a Mandalorian should be like, even though he's a bounty hunter. And but he's the number one definition of what a Mandalorian looks like to us in general. And that moment in season 2 where he got his armor back of Mandalorian was like peak Boba for every fan. And it's like that's what we want to see when we see a Mandalorian. When we see Mandalorian season 3, and we see how all the Mandalorians work, how their warrior pride is up here, and they try to focus in on how Mandalorians treat each other, especially when it comes to combat. In Boba Fett, what is it? In Boba Fett, I forget which episode, but it's the one where we introduce Mando, and they fight with Tar Vizsla. I think his name was Tar Vizsla. He ends up right, that is not for you. That's not for you. It's not for you. It's not for you. It's not for you. The big badass Mandalorian who wanted the Darksaber from Mando. He ended up being what I feel like the brutish Mandalorians were always going to be like, and he showed it. But it also felt like Clone Wars Mandalorians too. And that's how he kind of felt to me. He felt very Clone Wars. And but for Ahsoka, we've only seen Ahsoka in like 3 different properties: Clone Wars, Rebels, and the live action of what someone else was doing. But everybody's so quick to focus on that formula that works, they're not going to get off of that because everyone wants this kind of feeling when they think of Ahsoka and all that stuff. But the thing about it is, I'm not with Ahsoka, but live action. And it does show. It does show that sometimes this hype isn't always there for a lot of the shows. Not hype. The pacing, the way that they pace themselves from an energetic standpoint, where things need to be energetic and things need to be calm and collected, when things need to be very stoic or very controlled. Those moments are like stag throughout the entire time of Ahsoka, where these big moments should have different I'll say it like this, where these big moments should have different fluctuations of energy going through them. They just don't have it. And yes, it's you have to hold people accountable for that. But don't just start attacking one person and find that one person to blame and think that you're justified by being an ass about it. In the Star Wars theory, he, from what I could see from him, his entire reasoning for calling episode 7 of Ahsoka boring was probably because of the energy that was not there. And there was a lot of things that I said would have changed besides choreography and stuff, and that's something he had a gripe with too. I'm not disagreeing with him on the notion of it might have been better if the scenes were changed in a way, and that the choreography and stuff needed to be a lot more hype. But it's about the whole thing what we did get being boring. Now that's what I disagree with, and that's a debate, because what I think of this of that part of the episode was, and how he thinks of that episode, is 2 different things. He focuses more on the lore, the deeper part of Star Wars, where everything feels like, from my perspective of how I think of game. I keep trying to say game theory. Star Wars theory is that he loves the dark part of Star Wars. He loves to see characters go through struggles and see things from not just the happy-go-lucky perspective from how the Phantom Menace was, where everything was just kind of lighthearted, yet still had a darker twist in it. And that's something that I can also be like, okay, I see what you're doing here, and that's understandable. It's understandable your point of view on that notion. Me, I like Attack of the Clones, where things felt like like two private detectives on a case together, and I do love the battles and stuff like in Clone Wars and stuff like that. And, he does too, but in my perspective, I like the romanticized story of Star Wars where good guys win at the end, even though Revenge of the Sith they did not. But I do like that. I'm a sucker for that. I'm a sucker for the romance. I'm a sucker for being the hero and saving the day. And even if I screw up, but I still save the day at the end. Even if I had to screw up the whole time I was there, it's just something that I really cherish. I really I like, and that's what we kind of got in there. Except I wasn't feeling the same energy that the show wanted me to feel. And I feel like I want to know the exact reason why that the show was like that, but something tells me we won't get it until Ahsoka, the first season, if we don't even get a season 2, the first season is up, and let's say it's 2 weeks later after all that fact. Maybe Dave Filoni has a statement. Maybe Dave Filoni has a statement saying, yeah, at the end of it, we didn't have a lot of resources or stuff in the budget to even be able to do anything, so we had to work with what we had. Like, or maybe it was Disney saying, okay, we cut your budget in half because Disney's going downhill right now, and we just need to hold that money to keep us afloat for a while. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know why he's doing the things he's doing. We don't know why Ahsoka feels like it's just meh. But it's still cool. I'm still enjoying watching it. And I feel like, for some reason, I feel like this needs to be a movie and not an episodic story. So after this episode comes out, I'm probably going to rewatch the entire thing and see if it gives me a different feel, you know? It just feels like I'm watching a movie and I'm pausing it right when it gets to the next scene. I feel like a lot of the shows have been like that lately. Andor felt like a show, I guess, but I still didn't really get hyped for Andor. But I'm getting off topic. Don't jump to conclusions and make those conclusions your accurate, not accurate. Don't jump to conclusions and don't hold on to that first feeling that you have. You know what I mean? And stuff in the moment is like saying your first impression. And your first impression is not always going to be good, and it's not always going to be bad either. It might just be the coolest thing in the world. It might not be. It might just be the worst thing. But sit back and listen. Watch it again. Or come to a, let me see how this plays out. And think about it. And if you still have the same conclusion, then you know what? That's how your choice is, and I'm going to have to respect it. But until then, I'm not going to go after Dave Filoni just because something's not being how this person wants, or this person wants, or this person wants. It's not going to be, I'm not going to be like that. I'm sorry. And for all those out there who actually act that way, I gotta say, I feel sorry for you for not having an open mind. Right now, Ahsoka is being less than desirable, but the thing is, I'm still having a fun ride getting there. And for anybody who's made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you. Please like and subscribe. I will be putting out more videos here soon. It's just a lot of life stuff's been going on, and I just feel like getting this one off my chest because of how passionate Star Wars is for me. Right, Proxy? Anyway, think about it. Okay? Now, good night.